First of all, Roberto, Lukaku said after the win against Southampton that if Everton are more ruthless, we will definitely end in the top four. In fact, you can say we're outsiders for the title. What's your view?
Well, I'm sure that we're halfway through the season, so I think it's a moment that everyone will assess how the seasons are going so far. From our point of view, I think it's a good landmark. After 19 games, we got 2 defeats. We've been really consistent. We've been able to get points against the top sides. We've been able to get points against the teams that they're fighting already to get points on a weekly basis. So it's been a really good first half of the season, and we are in 4th position in the table. So it's something that we know that the 37 points that we had is not just through overachieving or being fortunate. I think if anything is the opposite. We felt that some of the draws deserve more than that, so we got a clear direction of what we have to do in the second half of the season, and I don't think we fulfill our potential. I think the group is excited once more. We want to push each other to try to even get more points in the second half of the season, so it's an exciting position to be in.
Given then that only Manchester City have taken more points off the top sides than yourselves, what would you say your targets are now?
Well, exactly the same. I think what it shows that Manchester City they've been sensational with their home form. Obviously, in the second half of the season, they're gonna have to visit all the top sides away from home. Apart from Chelsea, all the different teams, you're gonna have different challenges. So I think it's still very much open to what you can do in the second half of the season. Remember that the league campaign is a demanding road, and all we've seen now is how the first half is worked out, and I think that's just given a clear indication that the league is very much open, that the margins are very, very small, and you need to work internally to try to be as strong as you can be, and that's where we are really excited. We got some youngsters that they've taken that responsibility quicker than I expected, and that fills me with real excitement going into the second half of the season.
I suppose you can see how quickly the threat can come from below you as well. The fact that United and Spurs are close to within 3 points as well just shows how tight it is for those.
Of course, spots. Yeah, and I think that's going to make it even a harder second half of the season. Remember that once you go into the final 10 games of the season, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. Everyone has got his own little aims to achieve, and the points are really tough to get anywhere. So don't take any games for granted, and we all know obviously Spurs made a massive investment this season. You expect them to finish the season really strong. Manchester United, they are the current champions, and they're gonna finish really strong. So it's not gonna be a surprise. The surprise would be that the Spurs and United don't challenge for those top positions in the table.
With that in mind then, how crucial is this transfer window to you and what you want to achieve?
Well, crucial as any other. We don't take it in any different way. We're not going to stop working just because we are 4th in the table. It's the opposite. We're going to carry on working in the same manner. We need to use every window in our advantage and make sure that once we close the window, we are in a stronger position than we were when we open it, and that's the way we're going to work, and that's the way we've done it in the summer, and that's the way that we've been working since then internally to try to identify the personalities more than the players, that they can fit in the way that we want to work.
With the window about to open, what concerns do you have about the effect speculation that a club like United could come in with a £50 million bid for Ross Barkley, and what effect that could have on someone of his age and obviously in his first full season in the Premier League?
Is that 50 million?
50 million?
No, we wouldn't let anyone on loan in January. No way.
Are you worried? I don't think it was that funny. Are you worried though it could have any impact on Ross himself as a player, as an individual?
He should do. He should do to everyone, because that's a real compliment in terms of all the other clubs when they're looking at your players. Is because we've been doing the things well. What's clear is that I can guarantee you that what we're going to be is stronger going into the second half of the season, and that's a clear focus from our point of view to make sure that if we can, we're going to add a couple of new faces and make sure that we close the window in a stronger position than we are now. I've been delighted with everyone in the squad. You know that there are 1 or 2 situations that we're going to look into their own personal position in terms of looking at the World Cup. But as a squad, we're going to make sure that we finish in a stronger position when the window closes.
With Ross, contract-wise, is there any development?
No, he's got a long-term contract, and as we spoke, I think his role in the team has changed. Everyone is seeing that. The first half of the season has been a real joy to see him growing, to see him enjoying his football, and the second half is going to be even better. So obviously, always at the club we'll always reward that, and we'll do that at the right time. But that's not the priority. The priority is to carry on with the high standards that we have as a team and make sure that we're ready to help the team in every game that we got in front of us.
Can continued speculation ever become an irritation, then, Roberto? I mean, again,
No.
you see Baines linked with United again.
Not at all. No. When we are in a strong position financially, I think as a football club, when you are in a position where you have to bring money in, then it can be a real difficult position. You can be a little bit anxious. You can be a little bit frustrated because when you need to make financial decisions, the squad is not going to benefit from it. When you can make football decisions, then you're in a strong position. Believe me, I won admiration towards our players rather than nobody keeping an eye on the progress of our youngsters and how well we've been performing. So that's not a problem at all. If anything, is a compliment, and that should give us a real extra boost going into every game.
And the position then remains the same regards Baines. He's here for the rest of the season, not a problem?
Well, it's nothing to comment. I think the stability that we have at the club from a financial point of view allow us to make football decisions, and as you know, this January window is important for us to make sure that we kick on in the season and make sure that we finish stronger than we started, and that's a real difficult target because we started extremely well.
Any further developments regarding Heitinga and Jelavic?
No, not at the moment. We're still focusing on tomorrow's game. Obviously, it's such a busy period in that respect that all it matters is preparing game by game, making sure that everyone gets recovered. We had a couple of knocks at the weekend. Obviously, Gareth Barry and Tim Howard are back available, which is a real positive. Leighton Baines came through the first 90 minutes after 5 weeks, which is a real positive for us. Obviously, Phil Jagielka is going to be missing for a while, and we need to make sure that everyone else is ready to be fully fit for tomorrow.
What did it say about the squad being able to come through that encounter with Southampton like that?
I think it's internally we spoke a lot about it. I think in the outside is something that is normal. Sometimes we just speak when the results are not positive. To be able for us to cope with the amount of players that they were out on the game against Southampton was a real positive. To make 5-6 changes, including such a specific position like the goalkeeper after the season that Tim Howard is having, it was incredible to show the work rate of the players, the understanding, the professionalism, the way that they've been working on a daily basis to be able to be a team against a talented side like Southampton. It was really important to get the 3 points, but more important in the manner that we did it with the amount of changes that we had to make.
And Seamus Coleman leading the battle among the defenders for the goals tally this season so far, isn't he?
It's been again. I don't think it's been a surprise, but it's been terrific to see him enjoying his football, and I think the fullback position in the modern game is a real specialist, and I think Seamus brings that. Is a real threat going forward. He's got a creative mind, and then he can become a defender, and he's got that ruthless that you need in a player. So to be such a complete player with the stamina that he brings is just a big asset of our squad, and is an incredible example.
I think we spoke earlier in the season about him getting to the level of Leighton Baines. Do you see him getting to that level now?
Well, I think it's shown that he's been performing at the level of the best right backs in not just in the league, in European football. But he's still a very young man in terms of football terms. He was a late developer, if you want, or a late arriver, and I think we're still seeing signs that he can go into this sort of level consistently for many years to come. So as you can imagine, he's got a great challenge in front of him. I love the way he approaches the game. I love the way he takes that responsibility in the roles that he has, and then when you see him with that clinical touch in front of goal, that's a talent that you need to be born with, which is always pleasing to have it in a defender.
And how do you assess this challenge against Stoke? It's only a few weeks since you played them. Obviously beat them convincingly at Goodison, and they've not had the best of Christmases either.
Well, I think it's you're looking at the last two results, and it was a little bit of a freak performance against Newcastle, and that affected them going into Spurs. So we don't read into the last two games too much. What I'm reading into is that Stoke at home, they're unbeaten in the last 6. They won the last 2. It was an impressive result and performance against Chelsea and Aston Villa, and we know that when Stoke play at the Britannia, they are an extremely difficult team. So we know what we're facing. We need to be at our best, and we need to be fully recovered, and I expect a very, very difficult game tomorrow.
Just a couple to pick up on May. Just in terms of Ross, you're saying about how it could be a positive about all the plaudits that he's getting, all the attention that he's getting. How fine is that line between keeping him grounded and becoming Billy Big Boots? How do you get somewhere in between?
I think it goes down to his personality, and as I said before, Ross is ready for all that. He's someone that is had such a long spell away from the football pitch. He was born to be on a football pitch, and it's so natural for him. He enjoys the game. The injury when he was young, being away on long periods, I think it's made him mature a lot, and he doesn't take anything for granted. Anything that it comes his way, he's embracing it, he's enjoying it, and he's mastering it. So it's, in terms of that personality that you want in a footballer, Ross is a perfect example at our football club. So any experience that it comes his way is going to help him to develop, and it's going to help him because he's a good listener and he always wants to learn. So I've got no concerns at all. The bigger the challenge for Ross, the bigger the response, and that's a real strength to have as a footballer.
When you've got to this points total previously, when you and I have spoken, it's usually been with a sense of relief that you've avoided relegation. So how nice is it for you that you've got to this points telling you perhaps looking to double it now?
Well, it's the same, believe it or not, it's the same, because you go into the next game wanting to win. It changes the aim at the beginning of the season. As a football club, you got your own budget, you got your own aims, and to reach that target is always achieved through reaching little battles on the way. It's the same now. Obviously, it's just a number. We haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve. We were never set out to get 40 points. What we were set out is to fulfill the potential of the squad and making sure that we go anywhere in the league and be ourselves, and we are on the way of doing that. But the most exciting part of it is still to come, which is the second half of the season. But you can imagine that the demands and the desire to want to win games is exactly the same. So it's very, very similar. It's the pressure you put in yourself and in the team, and we got that.
And as far as this January window is concerned, we've spoken to some managers who've said that other departments deal with how transfers work and who's coming in and who's not coming in. So how much of a role do you play in that, and how close is the potential for someone coming in? Are you poised with a checkbook or a loan book, however it works for someone?
We are very, very much fortunate in that respect. We're a traditional football club. The finances and the football were linked, but the football decisions come from myself. The big help that I have is that we work extremely close with the chairman, the chief exec, and obviously the recruitment department, and there's a lot of people involved. But we're in a very, very good position when the football decision can be the reason that you make changes in a January window. The problem as a football club is when finances force you to make decisions that from a football point of view probably are not the correct ones for the good of the squad. Whatever's going to happen in January, I can guarantee you that is to strengthening the squad, to strengthening the football club, and making sure that we are all stronger going into the second half of the season.
And just finally, how difficult a decision is the Joel Robles, Tim Howard choice that you'll have to make?
No, it's not a difficult decision at all. I'm delighted having Tim and having Joel. We couldn't be happier. The goalkeeping area is a specific one, and it's very, very important that over the course of the season you got enough quality, enough experience, enough energy to do that role. And with those two keepers, we are in very safe hands. The team has been magnificent this season. Joel he's been ready and he's been working extremely hard. So whoever's on the pitch is someone that he can carry the job that we expect from our goalkeeper.
Can you tell us who it will be?
You'll have to wait until tomorrow.
Fair enough, thank you.
Roberto, you've spoken of the strong financial position the club is in. Does that mean you're confident you can resist any bid that comes in? And have you had
Yes.
assurances from the chairman to that extent?
Absolutely, yeah. No even a doubt of it. I said it many times that in football you can't fight the trend of the game, but what you can dictate as a football club is the timing, and everything that you do should be for the good of the football club. So we've done it before. Everything that it happens, it needs to be to improve the squad, to give it a longer term in terms of the strategy of the youth of the players, the blend that you've got with experience in the squad, and that's based in football decisions. So I can guarantee you that that's going to be the case in January, 100%.
And just finally for me, we spoke earlier about Romelu talking about possible title contenders. Are you happy for players to be thinking and even talking about that? Because some managers don't like mention of title or certain targets, but are you happy for players to talk about being title contenders?
Well, I think it's something natural. I think when you're a footballer and you face the opposition and you're involved in a league and you come off the pitch and you feel satisfied with the players around you and the way you work as a team, it's only natural that you get that forward thinking, if you want. When you are 5 points from the top halfway through the season, why not? You should have in football. You should always have a big aspiration. You should always have a big dream, and in the same way, you should have a real humble approach about your work and work as hard as you can and trying to improve on a daily basis. And I can guarantee you that that's the theme in the squad. We've got a perfect blend. The work rate is incredible. The way that we want to develop and the way that we want to listen is quite remarkable. So you need to have a dream and you need to have a long-term aspiration, and I think that's really positive. We've got enough negativity around football that I think it's just good when you get a real fresh, healthy dream to fight.